We got another Age of Empires 4 match today. We have B representing 3D games, playing as the Japanese in the color orange. How about that intro? It's like I don't know which order I use here. Amazing player, B. Really good. Go check him out on Twitch. He's streaming lately. It's really good. Against the worst player of all time, playing as the Ottomans in the color of pink. I got my color, my order switch up. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's because I have been a while for quite some time. I travel. I went to the south of China, where the weather is good. I spent like 2 weeks there, and I really miss playing this game. I really miss it a lot, and also casting. So I'm a little bit rusty, but I will come back. So I've been working about my audio for the last week. I've been doing some research, and I found some interesting stuff. It's about like the noise. So basically, your audio, you may or not may have this problem, but even if you have a good microphone, like the one I'm using now, it's a pretty good one. It's not super expensive, but it's very good. It really depends on the environment you have, and everyone's space is different. Like your house will be different than mine, and you have different types of materials in your walls. Like for example, if it's wood, it's a little bit better because it's more rough. Basically, when you say something, the noise waves will travel, and then they will bounce back when they hit the wall, and they will come back again. That's why it sounds like an echo or something. So it really depends on what type of room you are in, and maybe some of you are lucky and they don't really have this problem. You just buy a good microphone and you're good to go. But for me, I don't. So I have concrete walls around me, which are very reflective when it comes to the sound. Even though I don't think it's bad. There's been a lot of improvements, but still, we'll try to get some noise traps there. Basically, they will make... look at that. I'm talking about one of the best players in the world. Look, did you see that micro there? The scout just blocking the spearman from actually moving. And you know, you may think, oh, that's not really impressive, like, can I actually do that? Yes, but in this type of game, you actually need to think about your villagers, you need to think about your economy, you need to think about water, and you also need to block that spearman. So it's quite a lot of things, a lot of multitasking that goes here. To be amazing player. Now, the worst player in the world is actually not the worst. Not the worst, actually pretty good. It's rank 17 on the ladder. Not really sure if this is an alt account for someone very well known, but he's a really damn good player. Now B opening up with Coca Township. Interesting choice here, just because you will spawn Shinobi from here, and essentially what you can do is harass your opponent, but they're usually very good on water maps. But this cannot be considered a water map, right? Especially if your opponent didn't open up with a dock, you're not really denying something. So I'm really curious about how V will use those Shinobis, especially we use with a guy like him that has an amazing micro. I'm really curious to see how they use the Shinobi here. Meanwhile, on the Ottomans, the twin minaret Medjez, it's up, securing those food sources. The problem is this landmark is close to the berries, so from time to time the villagers will jump into this, and you don't really want to exhaust your resources. Instead, what you want to do is just use your infinite source food source here instead of... Look at that. Take a kick here. Actually, he decides, you know what, I'm leaving. They don't pay me enough for this. No, more Shinobis on the way. 3 are already on the field. 1 more to come. Very interesting to see what could Shinobi do in the hands of someone like B. Now, the good thing about the worst player of the world, yeah, of all time, it's that they have their military schools close to your town center, so you won't really be able to stop their production. You're gonna have to sacrifice at least 1 Shinobi if you want to stop the production of those military schools. Let's see if those Shinobis will manage to get this villager here. Take a look. Of course, the worst player of all time, it's very aware of this. He just decides to retreat. Sabotage mining camp. Archers already on the field. That direct counter for those Shinobis, they're actually quite good. 1 Shinobi goes down, another one tries to escape, another one goes down here. B using no, those Shinobis are not really that cheap, like 120 resources each. Not the most expensive, but also not the cheapest ones. So you're giving up free farms for a unit that, you know, potentially can cause a lot of damage to your opponent, but only if used well. And he's already a really good player. It's just so hard to use them. Another Shinobi will go down. Look at that Shinobi. Like, I'm a villager. Cannot attack me. One of yours. Such a cool unit. Already a junk here, just to prevent the opponent. Nothing but Shinobis here. I think I caught that that blink. Actually do quite a decent damage. I feel like he's just throwing those Shinobis there. In a way, he's forcing his opponent to stay in his base. Like if I send my units here, like, of course the Ottoman player is the one usually that is harassing you, just because they have more military units. They want to take advantage of that, so they want to stop your economy. But that's, at the same time, if you're sending so much Shinobis, and it's a really annoying unit, because if you don't, it's kind of like the knight, when you don't really notice and the knight already killed one of your villagers. It's pretty much the same, but you really need to be aware. And of course, walls like this ones are not gonna work against Shinobis, because they can blink and they can trespass walls. So even walls are not gonna help you here. Shinobi is just gonna almost manage to do some damage to the building, but it didn't. Look at that. That's actually a lot of damage to the building, which just a few units here. Now B just throwing resources away. 960 resources are ready for the worst player of all time. Destroy value is really working for the Ottomans. Look at that. Villager, just feel my blade. Actually, 2 shots and this guy's dead. Who needs spearman? Just surround this guy. Look at that. There you go. Beautiful. +1 range armor coming for B. Now he haven't upgraded his town center yet. It will be nice to see a Uma Bannerman here, just joining the squad here, just to be a little bit more tanky. And you see a combination that I really never thought of, like Shinobis and Horsemen. Like, look at this. Shinobis can actually blink through this wall. And I don't know if he will do it, but yes, of course he will do it. think you're safe? You're not. Hold on a minute. You're supposed to... You're supposed to blink. Did they fix that? Or was something wrong here? What happened? Or maybe it's only with one Shinobi that you can do that. If you put multiple, they won't. I'm sure B must be like, what? But if they did blink, it's gonna be a lot of villager kills there. Meanwhile, Ottomans already almost there through the castle age with the MIA to get those 3 siege. B also aging up with the floating gate. Castle age goes for the Ottomans. Floating gate almost there. Problem is you have a bunch of units here that are harassing your economy. Now we see the Daimyo Manor already being researched. Hopefully we'll see a Uma Bannerman joining the field soon. And let's see where he puts the Yoroshiro. Can you imagine you could put it here? Just to spawn Shinobis. And actually, how much seconds? It's gonna be the barracks. I'm gonna transition into Samurai. One of the best units for the Japanese, the Samurai. Cost effective, they are not super expensive, and they do really quite good. Just because they have the deflective armor, and they have extra range armor, and you can have the +1 melee damage with them compared to other civilizations, and also this upgrade, Odachi, which will deal extra 4 bonus damage against infantry, so makes them one of the best man-at-arms in the game. Up to par for like the Holy Roman Empire with the heavy maces and all those upgrades. I think the Holy Roman still have better man-at-arms, but Japanese don't get behind for sure. These ships are really strong against units actually, especially light unit compositions like those. Horseman working quite well for B. Managed to get a pretty quick age up if it, despite all the resources he spent on the horseman and the shinobi. Relic's gonna be captured for B. Walls gonna be finished in the east side of the map for the Ottomans. Now you see a mix of knights already in the field, 4 already in the field actually. Doing a quite nice job. Just trying to continue the raids. The Mether already here, so should be able to buff these units. No spearman yet, so I feel like the Ottomans can take this fight actually. Power upgraded here. Just remember the Japanese don't have access to keeps on the castle age. Instead they just upgrade their town centers. So your other option is just to put towers, you know, and reinforce them. That's your safest bet. Team Magonel already on the field, gonna get a nice shot to that war junk. Well, only the junk, not the war junk. And these fishing ships are how much fish is left? Only 280 food. Should be pretty happy with what he got here. Got plenty of food in that lake. That's as much as you can get. Well, B rallying units gonna be Onabu Geishas and Samurais. It's gonna change his horseman composition, and also you have the Katana Bannerman here. Get the buff for all those units. This horseman will try to harass his opponent, but he's fully well protected here. Have the walls here. If you enter here, the town center will just kill you. Especially with horsemen. They're not really using knights, so they're quite squishy. The Mether thinks he's a scout. Basic stuff is like Your opponent goes with a drum next to your villagers, play some music and run to let you know something's coming. Classic stuff here. More knights for the Ottomans and also knight's crossbow is gonna be his choice here, which I think it's a better composition compared to what his opponent has. Now this is not all his army is here. And the Janissaries are here. I don't know if he used the Vizier point. Looks like. No, really, only 2 Janissaries on the field. Janissaries actually do quite good against... Oh, look at that. Shinobi actually do a lot of damage against those knights. It looks like these guys are gonna fight now. Now that's a lot of knights. Screenshot for my album here. Nothing happened. Why you tease me like this? Thought I was gonna get a nice shot, like clash with the knights charging and the archers in the background, and a nice shot of the magonel. It's kind of getting my hobby to get those screenshots to see if I can have a nice shot. And Onabugeisha is not really gonna do much against those knights. I feel this is a fight the Ottomans can take. Look at the army value, is significantly higher to the Ottoman player. Meanwhile, 3 relics for the Ottomans, 2 for the Japanese. 2 Magonels are already here. They gotta come back. Now we have 26 crossbows, which is a big number, especially when you only have samurais and onabugeishas. These crossbows are just gonna melt your army, and this is the front line. So the crossbows are pretty safe, especially with the method here that buff their attack speed. Actually, they have the melee armor by units +2. They change it. Sipaki actually having 3 armor. How cool is that? 7 armor for the Lancer, so they are quite strong. So this means they will do, like, instead of 17 damage, they only do 10. I have a feeling this fight is gonna go towards the Ottoman player. I have a good feeling about that. And oh my god, 18 minutes into the game and I didn't change the resource per income. Sorry about that. Now this time I really did change it to the resource, how many villagers you have. But at this point in the game, because at the beginning everyone is pretty equal, later you want to see in the game like who's having the lead. I'm having actually a very equal distribution of villagers, like almost I just saw 58-58 for both players. It looks like it's gonna about to change. Ottoman player actually just built a second town center, so he's gonna have a really good time here. The knights will go for a raid. No shogunate castle yet, meaning those knights will be able to dive into the TC. Really be in a little bit of a trouble here. This is a big army, especially with those military schools. Just keep pumping units. But the Magonels are really good. You know what a good Magonels are? They are good against farms. That's what they're good for. The Magonels, let me tell you, I told you, like, look at this. The farms are like, you're gonna eat crap here. So basically, this crusade was a personal vendetta to just, I'm gonna destroy your farm and I'm gonna leave. that's what this is about. Janissaries doing a lot of damage, but casual staff, samurais just blocking bullets. Have some matrix stuff here. Oh, spearmen are already on the field. The right choice. Against that many knights, you really need spearmen. It looks like they're not gonna be enough, and the villagers will have to run here. Now, meanwhile, the Ottoman army still getting bigger and bigger. More units coming here, and you know, he's doing a really good job at protecting his Magonels. They're not leaving alone for a second, not taking for granted that they are free, and that if just because they're free, we can just use them without any sort of loss. Like, in a way they are, but yeah. It's just, if you don't lose them, your siege will get bigger and bigger, and it's just so nice to have a Magonel by your side. This villager looks like it's gonna leave another day, but looks like here it's still open, unfortunately. Yeah. So here what he has is stone and basically wood and the boar. So that's a lot of food, actually. Let's see how the Onabogashas do against those knights. I really think they're not gonna do much. Actually, like, that's enough so that they don't... They are like, oh, I'm not gonna fight here. Oh my god, that nice surrounding here from B. And if he finishes those walls, he won't be able to go away. And it looks like these knights are gonna be a loss for the Ottomans. But there are other things happening in the background. Where is that landmark? Istanbul Observatory building here. There you go. It's gonna get all those production buildings working at 60% XP. And acts as a university, so you can save like 500 wood there. And now your production will be just much higher. And now when we talk about Imperial Age, both civilizations are quite good, actually. Now be having basically a infantry only composition. Samurai, spearman, Onabogashas, a little bit of everything. But we see a big trouble coming here. It's gonna be the Great Bombard. It's gonna be out in 2 minutes. More raids going inside B's base. He's actually doing a really good job at... Actually, he doesn't have the space for the forge here. Now, elite upgrades are already there. And also, chemistry is being researched. So those Janissaries are gonna do a hell of a good job here. No more knights here for the Ottomans, meaning his front line is out. Look at that. Basically, guns against samurais. It's basically like the last samurai. It'd be losing all his army here. And 2 Magonels. Managed to get a decent shot here. But there is no front line for the Ottomans. It looks like B is losing his army here. Looks like he will lose. The Magonel is not gonna happen here because B taps out and the worst player of all time managed victorious with showing how the Ottomans are really good.